Hello, welcome back. Today I have a different kind of video for you. I'm doing a countdown video, ranking several suggestions in time for Halloween. I started this channel with the intention of posting weekly, but unfortunately I can't manage that with my current schedule. I'm basically trying to start a new career, so I have to study every day, and uploading weekly was difficult to manage before, so now it's even harder. But it's okay because maybe now I'll have more time to prepare for these videos. So I like different horror movies, but I wouldn't really call myself a true horror fan because I actually don't watch many horror movies. I find a lot of them ridiculous, but I watch a lot of drama movies that cover the darker aspects of life. Anyway, here are 5 of the best movies that have either disturbed or impressed me. I'll be going in descending order with number 1 as my top choice. At number 5, we have Angst from 1983. This is a drama/horror film that's loosely based on an actual mass murderer from Austria. This follows a man who is released from prison and, while on parole, he breaks into a home and murders a family. This is one of my favorite director's favorite movies actually. I think I read somewhere that he's watched it more than 20 times. What stood out to me most when I watched this was the camera work and color palette. There are lots of shaky close-up shots and it's very dizzying. What's more, you hear the killer's inner monologue and it's nothing short of repulsive. I'm not gonna give spoilers, but there's an aspect about this that kept me on the edge of my seat because I was worried that he was gonna do something as soon as he entered the house. I can't share what it is or give any more information because I want you to be just as scared as I was. You'll know it as soon as you see it. The main actor was phenomenal and he had some of the most jarring facial expressions I've ever seen in cinema. I feel awful for saying that this is a masterpiece because of the nature of this movie, but I can't overstate how perfectly done it was. 4 out of 5 stars and essential viewing in my opinion. At number 4, we have a Dutch psychological horror film from 1983 called The Fourth Man. This is based on a novel of the same name, which was written by Gerald Kargl. This is about a bisexual writer who experiences strange visions and weird occurrences after becoming entangled with a beautiful woman and one of her male lovers. This is heavy on atmosphere, decadence, and religious symbolism, so I would recommend it to Lynch, Argento, and Lars von Trier fans. I'd like to give this a second watch soon because a lot of things went right over my head, but it kept me engrossed the whole time. If you want to watch a man's sexual desires consume him through surreal imagery and dream logic, give this a watch. It's not too explicit, but it's very creepy. The things that happen to him are creepy, and he's also a creep, so it's a creep fest. 4 out of 5 stars. At number 3, we have Shudder, a Thai horror film from 2004. I've watched this several times. I was in middle school when I first watched it, so it freaked me the fuck out. And this one follows a photographer named Toon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and his girlfriend Jane. One night, they commit a hit and run, but this is only the beginning of an ordeal that will change their lives. One day, they notice mysterious shadows in his photographs, so they try to get to the bottom of things, but they experience even more paranormal phenomena as they uncover the truth. The past will be unearthed, forcing Toon and the people in his life to reckon with karma. This one's a slow burn, but the low budget doesn't detract from the horror. It's very reliant on tension and interesting storytelling. That's exactly what I need to enjoy a movie. The ending traumatized me as a kid, especially because I was raised to believe certain things about the afterlife, so it gave me serious chills, and every time I watch it I get chills. It's really fucking creepy. The only other thing that disturbed me to this extent around that age was Silent Hill 4. It's a video game, but yeah. This film emphasizes the importance of integrity and just how difficult it is to bury the past. You can only escape it for so long. 4 out of 5 stars. You should give this a watch if you like Japanese horror films from the late 90s and early 2000s. At number 2, we have Raw, a French-Belgian production that was released in 2016. This is a coming-of-age horror/drama tale. Justine is a 16-year-old who intends to become a veterinarian just like her parents. Her parents met in the academy where her older sister goes to, and Justine gets accepted there as well. Everyone in the family is vegetarian, but unfortunately, Justine takes part in a hazing ritual where she's forced to eat meat. It's a harrowing experience for her, and she begins developing all sorts of strange symptoms as a result. The hazing is what's going to set her on a path of self-discovery. This one has lots of sickening body horror. I'm warning you. I'm not a big meat eater because eating meat freaks me out most of the times. I usually just stick to chicken because I can sometimes feel gross after eating meat, but yeah, I'm sharing this with you because raw is gonna make you feel very queasy if you're like me and you don't really like meat. This movie's gonna freak you out. You're gonna feel very queasy. I think the Germans, Japanese, and French are unrivaled when it comes to depictions of disturbing subject matter, and they really put a twist on these things that is uniquely their own. So what I'm trying to say is that this movie feels very French. I won't elaborate. If you know, you know. I'm the type of person who can sometimes feel physical discomfort when I watch body horror, and not too many movies have made me feel as uncomfortable and sick as this one. 4 out of 5 stars. Finally, we have November, an Estonian movie from 2017. This is the only Estonian movie I've watched, and it's one of the best I've watched in years. This is a folk horror tale, but it isn't horror in the strictest sense. It has more elements of fantasy than anything, but it's still perfect for Halloween. This story takes us to a mythical village in 19th century Estonia, where all sorts of entities and people interact with each other almost daily. The villagers face a brutal winter, so they begin deceiving and stealing from each other, and they attempt to outwit the supernatural forces in their midst. Obviously, this doesn't go well, and it affects everyone, some more than others. There are lots of different characters in this one, but the story centers on Lena and Hans. Lena is a young woman who is set to have an arranged marriage, and one day she becomes enamored with Hans, a village boy who is infatuated with someone else, an aristocratic girl. She resorts to witchcraft to win his heart, and this also opens up a can of worms. Hans basically tries to make a deal with the devil, and of course, this doesn't go well either. So you have a town full of witchery, deception, and havoc. This movie was shot in black and white, and this choice lends itself to the mythical and historical vibe. There's lots of beautiful cinematography in this one, so I guarantee it'll make up for any confusion. I didn't know anything about Estonian history or folklore before watching November, but it was coherent and artistic enough to hold my interest. Everything about this movie was enjoyable for me. There's even some humor thrown in. Take the opening scene. Who'd have thought that watching a cow being lifted off into the air by a flying cow skeleton helicopter would be so mesmerizing? Just beautiful. If you don't have time to watch all of the movies I've recommended, you must prioritize this one. I've never watched anything like it, so I have nothing to compare it to, but I would recommend it to fans of The Witch by Robert Eggers. Very different styles and expositions, but that's all I can think of. 4.5 stars. I hope I've piqued your interest with these movies. I'd love to make more of these countdowns, especially because I'll be uploading less frequently. And if you're going out on Halloween night, please be safe because we're living in some dark times. Have a happy Halloween and happy viewing. Till next time.